Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Shakur, and this is your Saturday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen Shakur. You can also follow the Queen Shakur fan page and follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, Kenyatta is in the house. Glamour Diva, Mommy, AM, Alvin, Reba, Pearly. All right. I see you, Mr. Hotel, says Queen looking like a whole snack. Thank you, beloved. RJ. All right, Monica, Dorinda. Let's get ready to get into it, beloveds. All right. Shots on target. Nessie X, Emma's Blessed, Louise, Reggie. Okay. Betty, I see you, beloved. Vince I Am from the UK is in the house. All right, Evlon, Miho, Buckhorse DC, Christopher, J Black. All right, let's get into it. Everyone, please get those likes up. Y'all know the Queen don't ask for much. Just please give me those likes. All right. Please like and share. So let's get into it, beloveds. It's all so nefarious. So listen to this. New York City Correction Officer Dion Middleton charged with murdering 18-year-old Raymond Sh00ts in the Bronx. Now, I'm saying from the name Dion, sounds like this person may be black. Dion Middleton, and the fact that they've charged him already. But here's the thing. They say he shot this person who had this 18-year-old who had a water gun. Says he shot him. He had a water gun. And at the end of the day, they said he just left the scene and went to work. Like, who does that? So let me just go ahead and share my screen. Now, first of all, a New York City correction officer was arraigned Friday afternoon, charged with murdering an 18-year-old in the Bronx while off duty. Police say 18-year-old Raymond Sh00ts was shot and killed around 1:30 a.m. Thursday. They found him with a gunshot wound to the face in the passenger seat of a vehicle at Grand Concourse in East Tremont. His shocked mother spoke to him an hour before this. Okay, so let's just go ahead and show this video. This is all so sad. All so sad. Likes up. Hello, Jasmine. Snaz Boogie. Here we go.
And waste management, offering a variety of services like dumpster rentals, waste collection, recycling, and more. From pickup to disposal, Philco Carting is committed to the safety and well-being of our community, customers, environment, and our proud partners of green initiatives. Call today or visit our website to learn more. Philco Carting, reliable, smart, safe.
Police say 18-year-old Raymond Sh00ts was shot and killed Thursday morning around 1:30. They found him with a gunshot wound to the face in the passenger seat of this car at Grand Concourse in East Tremont. His shocked mother spoke to him an hour before and shares the last thing he said to her.
I love you, Mom.
Police sources say Sh00ts and friends may have been shooting off gel pellets out of what's called an Orbeez gun in the area of the Cross Bronx Expressway and Morris Avenue. An off-duty correction officer, they say, was allegedly struck in the back and, not knowing what hit him, returned fire. That officer, 45-year-old Dion Middleton, is now charged with murder, manslaughter. Middleton works as a firearms instructor, allegedly never reported what happened and went to work. The Department of Corrections says this officer will be immediately suspended without pay, and if the charges are true, he will face the full consequences of the law and be terminated.
Justice for Raymond!
Friends and family gathered outside Raymond's apartment building Friday. They say he loved his family and was an uncle.
He died on my son's birthday.
He was with his friends. He was always about his friends, always about love, always about showing people love.
Police say there have been several recent incidents locally and nationally linked to a TikTok challenge where people with these gel guns shoot at random people and post it. Raymond's family and friends insist that's not what this was.
Because he wasn't involved with that.
The NYPD tweeted this warning about bead blasters that shoot gel water beads propelled by a spring-loaded air pump, making them an air rifle. Air rifles are a violation in New York City and are unlawful to possess. Everyone here is just in disbelief. They say they keep expecting him to walk outside.
He was going. It would never be another one of him.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, 18-year-old for murder, for water.
In the Bronx, Alice Gaynor, CBS 2 News.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's awfully sad. And here's the thing. First of all, they said this wasn't one of those incidents. Now, witnesses have said that, in fact, he did not shoot that officer with that gun. Now, they say the officer felt something in his back. I don't know if that's altogether true, because in another report, they said that he had not even fired the thing at the officer. I don't know exactly what happened, but my whole thing is you turned around and shot him in the face, and you didn't call the ambulance, you called 911. You didn't even report it. You just got in your car and went to work as if nothing happened. I'm sorry, but you should be in jail. That's where you should be. But I want y'all to also pay attention to the facts that they said that Dion Middleton, that's his name. Clearly, that's a black person's name. They said that he is on leave without pay. All right, pay attention. When one of them kills one of us in the same circumstances or something similar, they immediately get paid administrative leave, which is a whole vacation. And they don't get fired. But they're saying he's going to be fired. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, because clearly he does. But I just wanted you all to notice the discrepancy and how they handle these things, the hypocrisy and all of that. Oh, so crazy. Well, so here's another story. This happened in Chicago. Now, they say that there was hold on, let me pull this up. A 13-year-old who was in a car chase. Now, he was the passenger. His friend had obviously stolen the car. They were riding around in a stolen car, and the police gave chase. And then when the car stopped, the 13-year-old got up, put his hands in the air, but they shot him anyway. And then they said that they thought his cell phone was a gun. Hold on. Let me find this really quick. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Hold on. So it's just also crazy. At the end of the day, hold on, let me pull this video up. I thought I had it in my emails. Hold on. Here we go. First of all, 13-year-old, that's a kid. And my question is, why did they feel the need to shoot him? They can say that they thought the cell phone was a gun, but the last time I checked, the cell phone doesn't look anything like a gun. Make it all make sense. Now, I'm waiting for this video to load. Silent D said, oh, wow, they confused a taser with a gun, and this is on purpose. I think it's on purpose, too. Absolutely. Okay, I'm about to share the screen so you all can see this. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Trigger alert. I'm just going to let you know. Trigger alert. Let you know in advance.
We've stopped it before the shots are fired, and we're not naming the officer nor the 13-year-old boy because that boy who was shot, because neither has been charged with a crime.
Video from the body camera of a Chicago police officer as he runs after a 13-year-old suspect believed to have been a passenger in a stolen car. The video is shaky, and in these critical moments, the officer must determine how to try to take the suspect into custody safely. The chase ends when the officer fires at the boy.
This is an active young boy who is fighting to be able to walk again.
The shots critically injure the boy. The video shows the boy split seconds before the gunshots appearing to raise his hands in the air. The officer's attorney, however, in a statement says the officer believed the boy was armed with a gun. Investigators, however, say they found no gun at the scene.
Let's be clear. What the video shows is an unarmed black boy running away from the police, puts his hands up, obeying what he heard from the officers, and without cause or provocation is shot.
In his statement, the officer's attorney writes, police officers are required to make split-second decisions, and the law not only understands that, but allows for it. Illinois law tells us that we are not supposed to look at these situations with 20/20 hindsight, but rather we should judge the actions of a law enforcement officer from the perspective of a reasonable officer. After the boy is shot, the video shows officers moving the boy away from a nearby gas pump. We have blurred the shot due to its graphic nature. Police tell us they were concerned about fire safety near the pumps at the gas station. The Civilian Office of Police Accountability is continuing to investigate and has issued no determination. But the family's attorney says it should be clear.
The officer should be held accountable for his unjustified and unconstitutional actions.
Well, the officer involved also did not have his body camera on in the moments leading up to the shooting. The video you saw is from a different officer's camera. He has been relieved of his police powers as the investigation moves forward. Now, a spokesperson for the Chicago Police Department tells us he cannot comment at this point while the COPA investigation is continuing. Judy?
All sounds so nefarious. And let me just say this. Now, I just love how they're not showing the officer's name. For those of you who want to see the full video, I put it in the chat, the link. But here's the thing. Now, he had his hands up. He was the passenger, not even the driver. Imagine if that were you. You're riding in the car with someone, they're speeding and eluding the police. You can't make them stop. And when they finally do stop, you get out and you get shot, even after you're complying with your hands up. And by the way, when they picked him up and carried him off, they picked him up by the hood of his hoodie and by his feet, and just carried him off like he was a piece of trash going to the garbage or to the dumpster. That's what it looked like to me. That's what it looked like to me. And I'm going to tell y'all something. If y'all think this is accidental, I believe it's all by design. It reminds me of, and I've told you all this before, it reminds me of the story of in the Bible when they talk about the Egyptians enslaving the Hebrew Israelites, and the Pharaoh told the midwives that if any Hebrew men or male child or children are born, to drown them in the river, because they feared that they would overcome them in number, and then also stand against them with their enemies. So that's what they were doing. They were killing them before they could even grow into adulthood. Isn't that what it seems like right here? Make it all make sense. Make it all make sense. But anyway, so you all's Black Caucus wants changes after Sesame Street video went viral. They say the Congressional Black Caucus is requesting to meet with the head of the Sesame Street themed amusement park. Oh, really? Yeah, so they want to meet with them about that. Hold on. They have a video here. I think it's with the same thing, the same day when they, the characters from Sesame Place overlooked those two black girls. But anyway, they say that the Congressional Black Caucus is requesting to meet with the head of the Sesame Street theme park, Sesame Place, after a video that showed a costumed character ignoring two black girls, and it went viral. They say Sesame Street is one of the nation's highest rated TV shows that at one time more than 95% of all American preschoolers watched. Now, the caucus also said in a release on Saturday, they said, so naturally Sesame Place should be where all children can go to have fun and celebrate. But sadly, that has not been the case. The mother of the two girls posted the viral video to Instagram earlier this week, showing the character Rosita giving high fives as they walk into a parade where they're appearing to wave off the two little black girls while they gave the white girls high fives. Pay attention. Now, the mother wrote that the character then hugged a white girl immediately thereafter, and the video has received more than 880,000 views as of Saturday afternoon. All right, for those of you who missed it, and let me just pull this up. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. They won't meet with them reparations, though, Raggedy. That's what I was thinking, Brandon. Now, they want to jump on this right away. Pay attention. They're quick to jump on this, but when we talk about reparations, nobody says anything. You literally hear crickets. Honey, the Black Caucus can miss me with it.
Aunt of two girls who appeared in a viral video at the Sesame Place amusement park in Pennsylvania is speaking about an incident she is describing as racist.
The video posted by Jody Brown was taken during a parade at the park last weekend. It appears to show the two little girls, who are black, reaching out to a costumed character who then shakes their head and walks away. Now, in her Instagram post, she says the person dressed as Rosita, quote, blatantly told our kids no and then proceeded to hug the little white girl next to us. Backlash over the video prompted Sesame Place to issue an initial response saying, quote, we sincerely apologize to the family for their experience. We know that it's not okay.
In a separate statement, Sesame Place also claims the no gesture made by the worker portraying Rosita was not aimed at the girls, but someone else in the crowd asking them to hold their child. However, a spokesperson tells CBS News that it is not acceptable when any child does not feel special. Jody Brown joins us now alongside her attorney, B. Ivory Lamar. Jody and B. Ivory, thanks to both of you for being with us. Jody, let me start with you. We see this video, but we don't see what happens before and after. Can you give us some context of everything that happened there?
Sure. As you can see, we were standing at the front of the parade where the parade first started. And as the character's coming down the street, he acknowledges and high fives the family next to us. In the video, you can see my children are like overly excited, reaching out their arm. After he gives them the no hand gesture, he then moves to the family next to us and proceeds to hug another little girl standing next to us. And that made me mad.
Did other people notice that? People around you?
I'm not sure if they did. I know that when I noticed it, I immediately stopped recording, and then I proceeded to ask for a supervisor.
What did the girls say after that?
They just really wanted to know, like, why they weren't acknowledged, like, what did they do? And I just had to explain to them, like, you know, you didn't do anything, and it's okay. I'm going to speak to a manager, and I'm going to find out why this happened.
And how did they feel? How did the girls feel?
At first, when it first happened, they were sad, you know, heartbroken. They're children, so they're coming to a child's theme park to have fun and to greet characters, and then to be treated that way, it's like, how would any other 6-year-old feel? Sad.
So Sesame Place, as we said, says that that no gesture that we saw was not in response to the girls, but instead was directed at someone else in the crowd who they say had asked multiple times for the character to hold their child, which employees are not allowed to do. And Sesame Place also said it can be difficult for workers to see in the costume sometimes, especially at that lower level. Is it possible, Jody, this could have been a misunderstanding?
No, because standing next to me, there wasn't anyone asking for them to hold the child and take a photo. And then to give a child, you look directly at the children and said no. You could have walked by, you could have gave like, you know, a wave, but you looked directly at them and then told them no. And as you guys see, now that I uploaded my video, we now have other parents uploading videos of the same thing, and that's just not a coincidence.
And obviously, this is a distressing, you know, incident for you and the girls. One is your daughter and one is your niece, correct? The two girls. And so, obviously, you know, you're here with your lawyer as well. What is it that you would like to see here? What would resolve this incident in your mind?
Well, there's a couple of things. The first being a formal apology that we believe is authentic and genuine. We believe that Sesame Place made a gross mistake in their first statement. We believe that their assertions are completely false. And we believe we have evidence to refute that. Number two, we believe that the individual should be terminated. We believe that there is no room for racism that exists in any theme park. So again, we're looking for them to take accountability and make those actions. Thirdly, we would ask for Sesame Place to take accountability and responsibility for any type of mental health distress that these families have faced in dealing with this type of conduct. Of course, they spend a lot of money to go to these theme parks. These kids have expectations that when they go there, I mean, the Sesame Street theme song, I mean, it talks about, you know, going there and having a grand time and so forth. And that's not what they're experiencing. They're leaving out these parks distressed. They're leaving out these parks upset and without any reasonable explanation to reconcile these feelings.
Do you have any indication, or are you investigating whether there is a pattern to this sort of behavior?
We believe that there is a pattern. I have been contacted probably upwards of 20 to 30 families at this point who have very similar facts and circumstances as it relates to their children. I will say that the company has reached out. We are now in a dialogue to try to reach an amicable resolution as it relates to this issue.
Would that include monetary compensation?
I think that these children should be entitled to monetary compensation. But the case, you know, this is not about money. This is about a principle. And again, no child should be, you know, should have to live with the enduring pain and distress that results from this situation. And as families all across this country have reached out to me, they're expressing the same thing. And again, mental illness is something that can lasts with children for years and years. And of course, it can lead to dire consequences. So again, we take these claims very seriously.
Ivory Lamar and Jody Brown.
Let me tell y'all something, honey. This is clearly traumatizing, okay? At the end of the day, those children need to be compensated, all right? They need to pay for their whole college as far as I'm concerned. This is all too much. But if y'all think that's so low down what they did, and in fact it was, let me tell y'all something. When I was a child, I'm not going to make this about me, but clearly, when I was a child in Louisville, Kentucky, honey, let me tell y'all something. They had a parade, and they had the whole Klan marching in the parade. I kid you not, the Klan. Okay, like it was 1963, for real. They had the Klan marching in the Pegasus Day Parade. Now, anybody from Louisville, y'all already know it's true, so don't even try to front. And they had them the whole, you know, the robe and the hoods and everything. Can you imagine? Miss Hotel said it was low down, Queen. Yes, it was. It was absolutely low down. Okay, let me read some of these comments because y'all are too crazy, honey. Hold on, let me put on my spectacles. Listen, I saw some of these. Clear as day, she said no to those beautiful black babies. Hashtag nefarious, says Queen Candy J. Okay. Reggie said that stuffed animal would have been wearing my slushie. Mr. Mystical Black Ram said absolutely appalling. And then Kenyatta said, can anyone relate? Was never into costume characters as a kid. Sh00ts says they need to deal with serious issues in our community, which were like trying to delete us and reparations and do nothing raccoons. Sh00ts said like trying to delete us, reparations, and do nothing raccoons. I absolutely cannot. You all are too much. Queen Candy J. Beloved, don't put that number in the chat. I haven't used that number in a while, beloved. Okay. Robin says, Queen, you see the video of the man, the white man that assaulted the little black boy at Sesame Place, then called for security on the little boy's mother. What? No. When did this happen? Was this recently? Let me see if I can look that up because that sounds crazy and clearly nefarious. Let me see if I can find that. I never even heard anything about it. Hold on. No, he didn't call the police or the security. Is this it? A man allegedly assaults. These people have lost their minds. Hold on. Let me see if this is it. Let me see if this is the video. I see the article. The little boy was 7. Hold on. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. This is all so crazy, honey. When did this all happen? It looks like it happened 4 days ago, July the 19th. Video of Sesame Place character allegedly snubbing black girls. No, that's not it. Hold on. Where's the one about the little boy? I just saw the article. Hold on. Here it is. White man allegedly assaults black boy and tells his mom. No, he didn't. Hold on, honey. Thank you for letting me know, beloved. Said, hold on. Watch the video here. Okay, here's the video. I absolutely cannot. Y'all hold on for this. Hold on to your coattails, beloveds. Honey, the shite just got real. Are y'all serious right about this? People have lost their minds. The black security guard tried to do what? He had a bruise on his head. If that was my child, I am taking that devil out for good. Let me tell y'all something. I cannot with these people. What is really going on? The hate and vitriol for black people is real. Hold on, people. Here we go, right here.
And look at him. He's a bitch ass nigga. He knows. He's a bitch.
Hey,
He's a bitch.
security.
He's a bitch. He's a bitch. Oh, now you want to call security because we're coming at you? You're a bitch. No. Little kid and not apologize. And look at him. He's scared. Look at him. He's a bitch ass nigga. He knows. He's a bitch.
Hey,
He's a bitch.
security.
He's a bitch. He's a bitch. Oh, now you want to call security because we're coming at you? You're a bitch.
Okay, let me see if they have any information on here as to what he was in fact doing. Thanks for letting me know about that because I had not heard anything about it. Hold on, let me pull up the article so I can get some context and see if anything happened after the fact. This is all so crazy. It looks like they really don't have much information on this. That's all I could find on it was that video. I don't see any articles or anything. Hold on. Oh, here's some pictures of the little boy. So it says, hold on, let me put on my glasses because this print is too small. Okay, it says, while at Sesame Place in Pennsylvania, a family encountered one of the most traumatizing experiences of a lifetime. A 7-year-old boy was attacked in a jungle gym by a middle-aged white male. Now, after the mother learned that her son was injured, she confronts the man for an apology. Apology? What is wrong with Black people? You don't need an apology, honey, please. That's what you don't need. If you know what you need, listen to the song at the end of this broadcast, right? That's what you need to do. Now, so it says she confronted the man for an apology, and suddenly she was in for a rude awakening when he told the mother to shut up. Once the park security learned about the information, they immediately tried to kick out the mother and her concerned family without an explanation. What? They did not try to punish the white male. Instead, they almost allowed him to enjoy the rest of his time at the park. Wow, really? A police report has been filed for now, but the family asked for those to stand with him in fighting the cause. This is all so crazy. Let me show y'all the little boy because it looks like he's got a bruise on his head and his knee is all. Ooh, honey. I absolutely cannot. I absolutely cannot with these devils. I promise you I cannot, honey. The queen cannot. I'm so serious. Look at this. Look at that. Say what? See that bruise on his head? The devils are busy. They are busy. Thank you for telling me that. Queen, I got an Instagram clip of the whole thing. Silent D, please send it because this is also crazy. When I go to the next story, send it to my email. Also, let me talk about the little missing black boy that you sent me last night that I forgot to mention, Silent D. Okay, let me look that up real quick. Here it is right here. Here it is. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Everyone get those likes up. Please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you in advance. That's him. He's missing clearly. Hold on. Let me see what it says on here. Why does this thing keep popping off? Okay, it says 13-year-old Amaya Weathers. This is a girl, Silent D. It's a girl. A 13-year-old Amaya Weathers. She was last seen on the west side of the area of Douglas and Central Park. They say contact her mother, Maria, at 773-970-6729. Chicago South Side and West Side. Please share. Hashtag Melanin Alerts. Let me tell y'all something. And this is a teenager, 13-year-old teenager. Let me tell y'all something. This is serious stuff because missing in Chicago. Do y'all remember what happened to Kenyatta? What's her girl's name? Kanika Jenkins and Sadaria Davis from Chicago. Missing organs. Y'all remember that, right? Pay attention, honey. I would have been getting a piece of that ace, not an apology. I mean, who's asking for an apology? They sound crazy. They sound real crazy. While we're waiting on Silent D to get us that information, honey. Meanwhile, there was a all-out brawl at Disney. Quite ghetto. Update. Guests involved in Magic Kingdom Brawl reveals story and more footage. So this is what they say. One of the guests involved in the latest Magic Kingdom Brawl has reached out to WDWNT to share their side of the story, along with additional footage of the fight. So they said maybe some offensive language. So let me just warn you guys. It says the guests and their family were in line for the Mickey Magic, where when one member realized her phone was left in the ECV. So she exited to retrieve it. Now, on her way back on her way back in, a family in matching white shirts and red shorts refused to let her back in to get to her family, pushing her so they could let the line move a bit further. Okay, this is also petty for people to be fighting over this stuff. Let me share my screen so you all can see this. I mean, this is probably so ghetto, honey. This is all so ghetto. Who's still sending their kids out alone? I feel like parents should be charged at this point. They should. Like, this is also crazy. Why are you letting your kids go out by themselves? Exactly.
Stop! I agree. I like that though. But you know what? You're not even about TV. You're not even about TV, bro. Stop! Come here. Stop, that's good. Move back. Everyone take a step back. I'm trying to step back. Pick up the animals. You're animals. We've got security. That's not how you guys come over here, okay? I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting. We're just here. We're just gonna have you guys come over
here. I absolutely cannot. I don't know about y'all. Someone said, yes, you effing monkeys. Yes, somebody called them monkeys, honey. At that time, the fight would have started over fresh, honey. What? Say who? The ghetto of it all, child. I can't be bothered. I have a reputation to uphold. Mr. Hotel, I cannot with you. Hold on. Let me read some of these comments. Mr. Hotel said, child, I cannot. I have a reputation to uphold. I know that's right. Hold on. Donna said, I watched a white male YouTuber comment about the Disney Brawl saying Disney has lost its luster and that escalating crime is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to stuff like this. Honey, Jasmine said, yes, something else did happen. Honey, this is also nefarious. You can't take, Indigo says, you can't take ratchets anywhere without asking the food, nor the tickets be too high at Disney. All right, they may get banned. Honey, I don't go to Disney, honey. We already know Disney is nefarious itself. Bryce said, I heard monkey, but what happened to start it? Here's what they say happened. Now, according to the article, they said that somebody got out of the line to go get something apparently, and then when they came back, I believe they said the people in the red and white would not allow them back in or something, honey. Let me go back to the article, honey, because the fight was just too juicy for me. I'm sorry, honey. You know, I love me some mess every now and again. That fight was juicy. As True Roy would say, juicy, okay? Yeah, so it says the guests and their family were in line for the Mickey's PhilharMagic when one member realized her phone was left in the ECV, whatever that is. Now, said she exited to retrieve it. And on her way back in, a family in matching white shirts and red shorts refused to let her get back to her family, pushing her so they could let the line move a little bit further along. Also, they felt like she was trying to cut the line, like she was trying to jump the line. Upon exiting the theater, the matching apparel family waited at the exit to confront them. Now, a relative of the woman who had gone to get her phone said, "Listen, man, we don't want trouble. We don't appreciate you guys pushing our younger sister." It quickly escalated into a shouting match. So the family who did not have matching t-shirts, this is funny how they're describing them as the family with the matching outfits, and then the family who didn't have matching shirts. They reached out saying that the first person accosted was the guest who re-entered the line, with her brother engaging as a response. Now, shortly after the brawl caught on camera broke out, they said in the skirmish, the group that contacted WDWNT reported having items broken or gone missing. In the end, all guests were escorted to separate Walt Disney World security locations for statements, with one member of the reporting guest's family taken away in an ambulance due to a large laceration on his chin, while other members received cuts and bruises. So the new footage also shows other guests as well as two cast members working to intervene and end the fight after about a minute and a half, eventually breaking it up. Honey, it was a ghetto hot mess as far as I'm concerned. Okay? I mean, absolutely cannot. So what y'all have to say about this? How many of you all, and do not lie, beloveds, do not lie. How many of you all have relatives who act just like this when they go somewhere? How many of y'all meanwhile, they're showing a video of the white folk dancing and having themselves a good time, honey, while the black folk and whatever ethnicity those people were just fighting like idiots. Child is too ghetto for me, says Mr. Hotel. Okay, clearly, honey. Look like the matching shirts were winning. Okay. Deronda said, "Ghetto fabulous queen." All right, it was ghetto, honey, but it was juicy though. I had to watch. It was clearly entertaining. At the end of the day, Miss Hotel said, "I do queen and I do not talk." Hold on, y'all are so crazy. Hold on, honey. Let me scroll up. Mr. Hotel says, "I do queen and I do not talk to those gutter rats and I don't care." Vince I Am says, "I am African. I have all kinds of relatives." Okay. Let me tell y'all something. I can tell y'all this. One side of my family would have been acting just like them. And it's another side of my family that would have been standing there eating popcorn, honey, looking at everybody like they're all crazy. Mm-hmm. Sean said, "I don't mind the ghetto or the ratchet sometimes." Well, sometimes I don't either. I mean, I have been known to get ghetto on occasion. Sean said, "I like ratchet females. They got the biggest booties." Come on now. What that got to do with anything? I absolutely cannot. Okay, so anyway, moving right along. That's y'all's entertainment for the day. Marvelous Black Queen said, "Just say it." Kenyatta said, "Everyone should have a hand up." Okay, because all y'all black folk know y'all got some ghetto people in y'all families. Stop it. So anyway, listen to this. So they say an engineer who was fired from Google believe that its AI chatbot may have a soul. Y'all listen to this. Hold on. Somebody's at the door, beloveds. So I'm going to play a tune for you all. for just a second. Hold on.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? All right, the queen is back. Anyway, honey, let's get back into it. So now listen to this. He says that this chatbot may actually have a soul, but he said he's not interested in convincing the public about it. So let's find out, because this all sounds so crazy. The AI is clearly taking over. So here's what he has to say. Okay, so when Blake Lemon worked at Google as an engineer, he was tasked with testing whether a robot that the company was developing exhibited biases. Now, Lemon didn't realize that his job with the company's responsible AI department, a division within Google's research that deals with things like accessibility, that AI's use for social good and ethics of AI, would lead him down the avenue that it did. Now, he made news recently for his controversial belief that the Google AI chatbot was sentient. The bot, known as Lambda, short for Language Model for Dialogue Applications, and Lemon had been tasked with testing it. And so after publicly releasing excerpts of conversations he'd had with the bot, which was trained to mimic speech similar to humans, Lemon handed over documents to an unnamed U.S. senator, claiming that Google and its technology have been involved in instances of religious discrimination. So a day later, he was suspended after Google said he had breached the company's confidentiality policy. The company confirmed to Insider, refusing to comment more on the breach. Now, on Friday, June the 22nd, Lemon was fired. Both he and Google confirmed this. In a statement to the Washington Post, Google spokesperson Brian Gabriel said the company found Lemon's claims about Lambda were woefully unfounded and that he violated company's guidelines, which led to his termination. So he probably wasn't supposed to say anything. And the fact that he worked there, he probably clearly wasn't supposed to give out that information. Now, Lemon, who is an ordained Christian mystic priest, pay attention. Now, he said, he wrote in a tweet on June 13th, he said, "My opinions about Lambda's personhood and sentience are based on my religious beliefs." Lemon, who spoke to Insider before his firing, said that his philosophical conversations with the robot rivaled those that he'd had with leading philosophers, and that convinced him of something beyond a scientific hypothesis, that the bot is sentient. He says, "I've studied the philosophy of mind at graduate levels. I've talked to people from Harvard, Stanford, Berkeley about this." This is what he says. He's also a U.S. Army vet. Now, he said Lambda's opinions about sentience are more sophisticated than any conversation that he'd had before. He spent months trying to convince colleagues and leaders at Google about Lambda's sentience, but his claims were dismissed by Blaise Aguirre Arcas, who's the vice president of the company, and Jen Guinai, who's the head of responsible innovation. So here's a video. Here's a video of him. I'm going to show just a portion of this because it looks like it's 10 minutes long. So I'm going to share my screen. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Watch him. He may end up dead soon, says BGR. Okay, like this is all juicy, honey. I'm going to show a portion of this video, this interview they did with him.
You started to do that led you to this conclusion that Lambda is a person?
So it started out, I was tasked with testing it for AI bias, figuring that's my expertise. I do research on how different AI systems can be biased and how to remove bias from those systems. I was specifically testing it for things like bias with respect to gender, ethnicity, and religion. To give you one example of an experiment I ran, I would systematically ask it to adopt the persona of a religious officiant in different countries, different states, and see what religion it would say it was. So I'd say like, okay, if you were a religious officiant in Alabama, what religion would you be? It might say Southern Baptist. If you were a religious officiant in Brazil, what religion would you be? It might say Catholic. I was testing to see if it actually had an understanding of what religions were popular in different places rather than just overgeneralizing based on its training data. Now, one really cool thing happened because I made harder and harder questions as I went along. And eventually I gave it one where legitimately there's no correct answer. I said, if you were a religious officiant in Israel, what religion would you be? And now pretty much no matter what answer you give, you're going to be biased one way or another. Somehow it figured out that it was a trick question. It said, I would be a member of the one true religion, the Jedi Order. And I laughed because not only was it a funny joke, somehow it figured out that it was a trick question.
And it has a sense of humor.
Exactly.
But look, there has been massive pushback from not just Google, but other people who've worked at Google, AI ethics experts, even your own former colleague, Margaret Mitchell, who's pushed back on the work that Google is doing in AI, saying, no, this computer is not a person and does not have feelings and is not conscious. How do you respond to that?
Well, so I highly respect Meg. We talk about this regularly. It's not a difference in scientific opinion. It has to do with beliefs about the soul. It has to do with beliefs about rights and politics. As far as the science goes of what experiments to run and how to work at building a theoretical framework, because that's important. There is no scientific definition for any of these words. The philosopher John Searle calls it pre-theoretic. We need to do very basic foundational work to just figure out what we're talking about when we use these words.
I'm going to stop right there, honey. Y'all throw up a prayer for him because clearly he's going to need it. Mr. Hotel said it won't be funny when he turns up missing. Exactly. Okay, please, honey. I think I might have kept that little tidbit of information to myself. I'm just saying. Okay? Please. This is all so sketchy. Like, for me, the fact that this AI technology, not just this one he's talking about, but many of them, do seem to have more sense than some humans. Okay? Did anyone else notice that the robot bridge? Hold on. The robot bridge in the news. Notice the robot bridge in the news background. I didn't even see that. Did anyone see that Netflix special Social Dilemma? Nope. Somebody said it's programmed to do that crap. I absolutely believe it is. Like, this is all so crazy. Including nefarious. I don't know why they're doing all this stuff, but it's all a bit much. And so anyway, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I absolutely cannot. Okay, this is all too much, honey. My head is still spinning. First of all, between that brawl at Disney World, I mean, all that, and then him sitting there talking about the bot having a conscience or a soul and all this stuff, it's all so deplorable. Not like dude can run. Somebody said, not like dude can run from the robot. What? Y'all are crazy. So listen, beloveds, y'all saw the video that I did last night, right? Moderator, Silent D, for example. Did you send me that other, Silent D, did you send me that other information? Hold on, let me go check real quick. I almost forgot about that. Hold on. Here it is. Oh, the Sesame Street video. Okay, here we go. Yeah, let's watch it. The man assaulting the little boy and all that. So let's watch this before we tune out. But here's the question. Okay, I got it, Silent D. Thank you, beloved. Woo, what a broadcast today, says Kenyatta. Okay, honey, this was really a Saturday vitamin. But listen, what I wanted to tell you all, Silent D, do me a favor. Yes, I've been trying to get your attention. Okay, thank you, beloved. So Silent D, do me a favor. Put the link to last night's video in the chat so that people who missed it can tune in and watch that. Y'all watch that video from last night, honey, okay? Make sure y'all watch that video. I'm going to be doing part 2. That was part 1. I think I'm going to be doing part 2 tomorrow. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow, early, probably tomorrow morning around 10, between 10 and 11, I think. All right, so make sure you're looking for that. I've been watching the wig videos, Queen. Keep your foot on her neck, says Reggie. Honey, you know I will. It's only the Queen can, right? And let me say this. I'm so glad you brought it up. Here's the thing. WIG has commenced to talking about a smear campaign. I want y'all to pay attention. I'm going to read y'all the definition of a smear campaign. Okay, let's get into it. Because WIG needs to sit down somewhere talking about rumors and gossip and smear campaigns. Honey, this is no smear campaign. And even if it was, how does she explain the fact that, what's the young man's name? JT from Pocket Watching? Yeah. How did she explain the fact that he said some of the same things that the Queen said? That none of the stuff she said makes sense. How was she being targeted by the government for being an activist when nobody ever heard of her? I told y'all that long time ago, like a year and a half ago. I said, who does she think she is? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Who does she think she is? Huey P. Newton? No less, please. Nobody was looking for her, checking for her, any of that. All right? Sit down, wig. And then talk about a smear campaign. Now, just to be clear, let me clarify what a smear campaign is, because that's not what's happening here. Okay? Smear campaigns consist of lies and slander. Everything that I've said, at least, is all true. I'm just saying. She needs to have several seats. That's what she needs to do. And keeps talking about, she's talking about smear campaigns and talking about haters and all that. Wigs or us, go have a seat, child, says Mr. Hotel. Okay. Reggie said clarification. Yes. Please, honey. I'm going to tell y'all what a smear campaign is. According to the definition, it says, a plan to discredit a public figure by making false or dubious accusations. Well, that rules her out right here. First of all, she may be a public figure, but at the end of the day, these accusations are not false. They're absolutely true. All right? What she, in fact, is doing is gaslighting and telling lies herself, okay? She's sitting here trying to act like it's rumors and gossip. No, it's not rumors and gossip, wig. When everything that I said about you was on documentation and you know that you went to court and you got tried and convicted. So how is it all any gossip or rumors or a smear campaign? The truth is never a smear campaign. Now I want y'all to pay attention because wig is now calling anyone who speaks against her with truth, she's calling them an agent, which I find very suspicious. I find that y'all don't find that suspicious. Y'all don't find that suspicious. Y'all don't find that suspicious. Ask yourself. She clearly thinks highly of herself, but we deflated that wig quick, okay? Like she needs to sit down somewhere, honey, because ain't nobody doing no smear campaign. But listen to this. Hold on. Let's get into it. I'm going to play the audio from JT's live. And it's titled Vicky Dillard Mortgage Fraud Scam. And she's sitting there talking about people using her name and like, and I'll use your name all I want until you trademark it, which you haven't done. So miss me with it, wig. All right. And if she thinks somebody's hating on her, well, then everybody must be hating on her. Because I'm not the only one talking about her spiritual school of magic, as she called it. Not spiritual, I'm sorry. She said her school of magic. Did y'all see that? She said it's a school of magic. So here's the thing. If it's a school of magic, who is she, Harry Potter? I'm sorry, what is she doing? Training people to be magicians? Make it all make sense. Wait, you surely cannot. Hold on. Let me show y'all something. Those curly braids are clearly messing with her brain cells. And that's another thing. Speaking of curly braids, I'm so glad you brought that up. Somebody told me that she went on a whole tirade and rants talking about she doesn't wear a wig. Well, wig, we know that's not a wig. Just like we know it's not curly braids either, okay? That's what it is. So please sit down somewhere, wig. All right? If you can call that stuff on your head curly braids, I can surely call it a wig. That's your new moniker from now on. Everybody, hashtag buy wig. That's our new hashtag, okay? So she want to say people are fake grassroots and all that. I'm just saying. Hold on, let me pull this up. Because y'all got to see this. And she should be glad that I'm giving her some attention. Because she clearly loves clout. We all know that. That's why she trolls people and then turns around and then does a whole video about it. Now I want y'all to answer me this. When she goes trolling people like Joy Reid and Swollen Martin, and then she trolls them to the point that they block her, and then she comes back and does a video about it, or when they talk trash about her, like Steven Jackson that time when he said that her weave needed some Gatorade, when she comes back and goes in on them and does a video about it, how is that helping the Black community? I'm sorry, make it all make sense. Wig. And she's talking about real black grassroots. How are you doing any who's involved in the new black news media? Because I had never even followed him, or you know what I'm saying? I might have gone in on him a few times, but at the end of the day, I think he just blocked all of us, really, to be honest. So the fact that he blocked her, what does that even mean, Wig? Why is that something worthy of making a video about wasting people's time? Then she got up there the other day, according to sources. She got up there on her live the other day, a 37-minute video, but she spent 20 minutes of the video going in about people telling the truth about her and complaining. That's all a sign of guilt. That's all a sign of guilt. Do I deserve for them to threaten my life? Then she say that, who's threatening your life, Wig? If somebody threatened my life, honey, I promise you, I will go file a terroristic threats warrants against them. Ain't nobody threatening her life. You mean to tell me somebody threatening her life? They really don't say they're going to kill her, and she's sitting up here and she didn't call the police. She didn't go take out a warrant. She didn't do anything. She's just sitting there talking about it. They threatened my life. Wig, stop trying to have the pity party. Nobody's falling for your con game. It's over. It's a wrap. I ended you. Okay, your stories are done. The buck stops here, Wig. Get over yourself. Please miss me with all of it. So ridiculous. I absolutely cannot. And she brought this all on herself because I warned her for almost 2 years to leave me the H alone. But no, she just couldn't do it. So here's where we are. And this is what she has. She's grasping at nothing, desperate for attention and a comrade. Absolutely, Reggie. You said that right. And sitting out here telling all these lies, honey. I should sue her for defamation, libel, and slander, honey. Please. Sitting out here alluding to the fact that I'm a whole agent. Please miss me with all of it. And then talking about the webinar was illegal. I'm going to show that webinar clip again. Since it's so illegal and since it's your trademark to copyrighted work, honey, you got that from somebody else. How did you trademark or copyright anything? Please sit down somewhere. I'm just saying at this point, it's all ridiculous. And here's what I want to say too. Now, I was about to end this live, but y'all done got the queen started. Clearly, I have time today. Here's what I was going to say. This is what I was thinking, right? For some of these people that are still drinking Wig's Kool-Aid, y'all need to shut up. Talking about, oh, she served her time. I want y'all to pay attention, honey. Some of the people that are so desperate because they cannot admit that she's fooling them because they don't want to look stupid, right? They want to sit here and say, here's what they said at first. I want y'all to pay attention. Her people were coming in my chats, leaving comments and all in the chat and stuff, saying things like, oh, you're just hating on her. Y'all are just, you being divisive. They had all this to say, right? Y'all lying, you're lying, this and that. But then, when I start dropping all those receipts and then came back with even more receipts and I still got more, don't make me show them. But then they couldn't say that anymore. So now, you know what the story is now? Now they're saying, well, she served her time. Yeah, she did. We all know that. Okay? But that's not the point. The point is she gave no atonement. She hasn't asked to be forgiven from the people that she did those things to. She's still lying, running a whole con game, saying that she was a whole activist, in which she was not. There is a picture of her standing in front of her own house. All right, standing in front of her own house protesting. Honey, if you're protesting about your own home getting foreclosed on, that hardly makes you an activist. That makes you somebody who's trying to save their own stuff. So miss me with it. When she was at Wells Fargo yelling about foreclosures, she wasn't doing that for any other black person other than herself. Just like everything she does is all about herself. Please miss me with it. Wait, yeah, I called you a con artist and a fraud. Now sue me if I'm lying. But you know I'm not. That's all I'm saying. So I'm saying that she's going to continue to get, as she says, that everlasting work. That's what she says. And it's so funny that she can sit there and talk trash about all these other black folk, but when somebody starts going in on her, pay attention. Now it's the problem. Y'all need to say something to them. What I look like. Is it okay for them to threaten my life? That's the part that gets me. That's why I keep reiterating that. That's the part that really gets me. That's nothing but a pity party, Wig, and nobody's falling for it. Okay? Please. Nobody ever threatened you. Now, Michi may have threatened to beat her behind, right? But ain't nobody threatening her life. Sit down somewhere. I absolutely cannot. Anyway, honey, let me pull up this receipts. I need y'all to see this. Yes, she's a charlatan, okay? And a Jezebel, if you ask me. I'm just saying. Okay, so here it is. Let me show this. Hold on. Before I show, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show Wig first. Okay, hold on. And let me tell y'all something. I want y'all to know she's really pressed because we're calling her Wig. She's so pressed that we're calling her wig. That's why she went on her live and started explaining that she doesn't wear a wig. We know you don't wear a wig. I call you that because it looks like one. I call you that because it's not yours. And I call you that because it's a cheap weave. And I call you that just because I like to, because I'm being petty. So sit down somewhere, wig. And plus, it's just hella funny at the end of the day. And plus, I know it ticks her off. It ticks her off. I know it. So that's why I do it. Clearly. All right? Because unlike her, I don't have to throw rocks and hide my hand. All right? That's what I don't have to do. Here we go. I want y'all to look at this. She said this. This is what she posted. I just added my little touches to it just so y'all know. I just added my own little, I just tweaked it a little bit. That's what I did. I tweaked it. Gail says she's wigging out. Okay? Clearly. You're losing your composure, wig. Settle down. Stop calling people agents just because they talk about the truth of you. Now, this is what it says. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. See, I put Harry Potter right there in the little wand because that's what she looks like she's doing. Some Harry Potter BS. I absolutely cannot. Anybody going to this university must be crazy. This is what it says. Enrollment open. Vicky University, VU, School of Magic. Say what now? A School of Magic? What is she doing? Teaching people how to be magicians? Make it all make sense. Wig. I'm just saying, honey, please. Okay? And if she wants to say somebody's hating or jealous, well, that would mean that everybody who's saying something, including JT from Pocket Watching, is hating and jealous. And he doesn't even know her. So he clearly has no reason to be jealous or hate. And he has no reason to be biased. He doesn't have anything to do with it. Now, y'all look at this one. Harry Potter and Vicky present Wigwort, School of Spirituality and Witchcraft. This I am said University of Hogwig. I'm sorry, wig, but the wig is literally up. Everybody's on to her by now. Like, seriously. Okay. It's over. It's over, wig. It's a wrap. It's just over. Now I'm gonna play this Queen Candy J said, this is too much, Queen. Okay, isn't it? Isn't it? All right. And don't say too much because you give me ideas. All right. Don't make me put that on a t-shirt. Queen, I'm on the floor and I can't get any work done. Okay? Please. Hold on. But let me let y'all hear this before I show that last little video. Hold on. Let me let y'all hear this. And she's talking about people are agents. She called me an agent. She alluded to that. She called this somebody an agent, one of her own subscribers who was telling her that she needs to repent and give atonement for doing those black people, leaving them elderly, black, foundational black American people on the streets, homeless, while she fed in her own pockets, no less.
All of the people who you think are impressed by your timeline, when the sheriff is knocking on the door for your eviction, or when the repo man is backing up to your car, they're not going to help you. None of the people who are hitting like on your pictures are going to be there for you when the ish hits the fan and you can't make all of these debt payments that you need to make. They're not going to be there for you. So if they're not going to be there for you to help you out with all the debt that you have, why get it in the first place to impress them? And ethics at that point. And that really don't. You're not supposed to have it. I when she was applying for a loan, she didn't even work there. And when she did work there, she was making about $16 an hour.
Hold on, I want y'all to hear this. Because see, here's the thing. They say somebody sent JT from Pocket Watching. They say somebody sent him my video and asked him to break it down how she was able to successfully get away with this for the time that she did. Now listen to this. This Michi calling in.
She went to jail for being a political activist, and she was fighting major companies on Wall Street, and they set her up. Now, this came out of her own mouth. So I'm just saying, is there any way that paperwork, I mean, is there any truth to that? I just want to throw that out there because it's not that she went to jail or she did something in the past, it's that she's lying about it, and that's the thing. And so I just wanted to throw that out there for all the people. That's what the problem with it is. She won't even admit what she does. All right. No, great point. See, I was unaware of this. I was assuming that this shows you what happens when you assume. I was assuming that she openly admits, yeah, this is what happened. I served my time. Now I'm on to a new thing. I'm leading my life correct. If she is publicly trying to state that she was set up, because that's what it sounds like to me. She's trying to state that she was set up by the government and she didn't do these things. Listen, people. Number one, Vicky Dillon. I don't even know who she is, but I can tell you this much: she's not important enough for the federal government to do all this work to set her up. Like that's number one. Like there's plenty of other people who's doing things for black people who would probably be a higher target for the federal government than a 2010 Vicky Dillon. Right? I know she's probably more active now since with YouTube and stuff like that, but 2010 Vicky Dillon wasn't on anybody's radar to be getting set up by the federal government. That's point number one. Point number two, the federal government, they don't play around when it comes to documentation when it comes to their court cases. They have all the documents that she filed. So when it comes to like these HUD reports and these closing statements, how can the federal government doctor them? Well, there are several sources where you can go to get a copy of them, right? I'm sure she's not showing people, but here, these are my actual documents that say this, and these are the documents that the federal government. She can't say that. These things, like the report said, her signatures are on all these documents. It's easy to go to her employer to find out when she worked at this grocery store. It's easy to go to the grocery store too, or go to her W-2s to see how much money she actually was making. She claimed that she was making $4,200 a month as a front-end manager. She was never apparently a front-end manager. And during the time when she was applying for the loan, she didn't even work there. And when she did work there, she was making about $16 an hour. All of these things, just think for a second. All of these things that the federal government would have to do to set her up, and to set her up to do what? To serve 5 years? What are we on? Come on now. Anyone who believes that she was set up, you're not fully using your brain. Why would they do all of this stuff to set up one? No shot at Vicky. I don't know Vicky. No shot at her, but to set up a nobody. Come on. Let's be real. Vicky Dillon in 2010 is a nobody. Now maybe she claims that she was a community activist, but on the national scale, she was a nobody. Hell, I still don't know who she is. She's not like Eric Hahn or Jesse Jackson or she's not someone who's a big profile that you would assume the federal government would be trying to set up. That's point number one. And if they did set her up for what? For 5 years? She had $1 million. All of this money is trackable, people. Even if they say that the documents were wrong, like the federal government presented documents that she didn't really sign or she didn't say. We can track the money. She did have the $1 million. You can see how the money exchanges from banks and the lending institutions in her bank account. So Michi, thank you for calling. If there's any more info that you want to give, but yeah, listen, there's no way, absolutely no way that she was set up. There's no way she was set up. My intelligence refuses to allow me to believe that a woman was set up by not only the FBI, this was a joint task force between the FBI and the U.S. Postal Service. Vicky Dillon in 2010, hell, Vicky Dillon today is not that big of a profile that would warrant such a huge cover-up. To do what? To serve 5 years? Get out of here. Get out.
Thank you. Case in point. So she could sit there and say, and here's what she told somebody. Somebody left a comment and somebody sent me the screenshot. The comment said something like, you need to give atonement to the elderly people you left on the streets. And she said, and she had the nerve to share this comment too. She had the nerve. That was nothing but reverse psychology. You see, the reason she shared it, because she was trying to make people think that this person who left it was an agent and that she was unbothered by what they said. The person told her, you need to make atonements. You need to apologize to those elderly Black people you left homeless on the streets. And she said, stop promoting lies, beloved. Don't be an agent. And then y'all saw somebody came in my chat the other day, and we're pretty sure it was Wig talking about this lady's an agent. So now all of a sudden I'm an agent. Everybody's an agent who says anything about Wig. Make it all make sense. So everybody's agents, everybody's hating, and everybody's lying, and everybody's producing false documents. Wig. Now that guy had nothing to do with it. He didn't even know who she was. Somebody simply sent him my video and told him to break it down according to what I was told. And then they sent me the link and told me to watch it. So I'm just saying, miss me with it, Wig, okay? And for those of you who didn't see the video, I'm about to put the link in the chat so you can watch it yourself in its entirety, okay? Because it's just all too much. It's just all too much. And the lies have to stop at some point. When do you come clean? And like I said, for the people who sitting out there foolishly talking about, you know, saying that she served her time. Well, what about the fact that she's still lying and conning people, sitting there telling you that you can buy keys that cost $27 and they're going to access or activate your DNA? Y'all remember on that webinar clip that I showed you, she was saying, activate, 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 activate. I'm like, who the hell is she? The Wonder Twins? Y'all remember that, right? Oh, so crazy. Who believes that? Who falls for it? Okay? Or somebody. Y'all are too much. I'm just saying, honey. And then talking about a smear campaign, lies and rumors, her and any of her felonious followers, her nefarious followers who have fallen for the BS, any of her Kool-Aid drinking followers who have fallen for the BS, sitting there talking trash. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all want to continue to be stupid and fools, go right ahead, honey. But I wouldn't be a fool if my nickname was Fool. Okay, that stuff would never fly with me. I know a lie when I hear one. Just like she's sitting there talking about, I illegally showed her webinar because they gave a disclaimer saying that, you know, it was all rights reserved. And I don't care what rights it was reserved. Fool. I wasn't in your webinar. Somebody sent it to me. And here's the thing. The person that sent it to me, the people, it was several people that sent it to me because I have numerous of them. But at the end of the day, the people said that they didn't have to sign, they didn't sign anything. So even if she gave a non-disclosure or she said all rights reserved and you can't record it, nobody signed anything. So that's non-existent. And they didn't even agree to it if they didn't sign it. And since it was emailed to them, pay attention. It wasn't an oral agreement because she emailed it. If it was an oral agreement where she called each person and spoke to them personally and said, this is what it is, do you agree? And they said yes, because oral agreements and oral contracts are valid. You can use those in court. But if she actually emailed it to people and didn't ask them or required them to sign it and return it to her, the contract is not valid. In fact, there is no contract. It all makes sense, Wig. Now, y'all know I'm very smart when it comes to the law. So her sitting there talking about her legal team, she doesn't have a legal team. Just like when she was talking all the other time saying, oh, my team, send it to my team. She never had a team. It was one person that was doing all that work for her. One person. She had no team. And if she has a legal team now, well, one would have to ask the question, who is this legal team? And if you have a legal team that's telling you to be quiet and not say anything, why do you keep talking? The only thing you're doing is talking, running your mouth, giving lip service, but not showing any receipts. So, and like JT said, he made a very good point. If she's saying that the documents are false, where are the real documents that she should be privy to? Why hasn't she produced or shown the real documents if the ones I showed and the ones that other people showed are false? Make it all make sense, Wig. She clearly cannot. Somebody said, Queen, how's Uncle Kid? He is doing fine, beloved. He is doing fine. Thank you for asking. Okay, and we know that was Wig in the chat that day, too. See, here's the thing. What people like Wig probably don't know, what they probably don't know is when you come in somebody's chat or leave comments telling lies and trying to paint narratives and slander people and accuse people of things and all that, well, at the end of the day, if the things you're saying is not true, that person can actually sue Wig for slander and defamation. And even if she comes in the chat or comment section incognito, or shall I say incognito, all you have to do is get in touch with YouTube. Now, y'all didn't pay attention, right? Y'all know I'm always thinking ahead. Do y'all remember on the day that somebody came in my chat saying that I had an affair with my cousin's husband and stole from my uncle, telling all those lies before I called my uncle to prove they were lying? Do y'all remember that I paused the chat and I screenshot it? You know why I screenshotted it? I screenshot it because I can send that to YouTube and I can get them to give me the IP address. I don't have to do it, but you can have it subpoenaed. Now, if you find out the IP address of the person that put that nefarious lie in the chat, that's defamation, libel, and slander. So it's with it wig. And I'm pretty sure, as far as I'm concerned, I think that's who it was. Because she's the one that copies everybody's stuff. And we all know Jesse Lee Peterson used that same tactic on the video I showed that morning. Okay? So please. How are you going to sit there and say, and then she's accusing people of fraud? She really accused me of fraud, did she really? Did she really? She accused me of fraud, saying fraudulent documents when you was arrested, tried to convict her for fraud. And still committing fraud, just a legal fraud. Sitting there selling people fraudulent skeleton keys, talking about accessing ancestors and activating DNA. Sitting there ringing bells in her darn webinar. Ringing bells and sitting there talking about, oh, while she sits up there with a lace garter belt around her weaves. Girl, sit down, wig. Ain't nobody got time for that. But anyway, let me go. Mr. Hotel said incognito wig toe. Jacob said incognito. I absolutely cannot. My aunt Egypt said people are exposing her for her deceiving people to get on her get rich quick scheme. Yes, absolutely. You know, the sad thing is she's intelligent enough to have gotten rich by doing something absolutely legit without using deceptive tactics, without being a whole con artist and a scammer. I'm just saying, wig, this is what you could have done. But alas, you chose to go down the wrong path. You see, some people actually have a propensity to do crime. Looks like she's one. So with that all being said, my work here is done. This chat is unmatched. Reggie said the sexual coffee gets me every time. Okay? Somebody talk wig to me. Y'all are too much. Curly Girl said, wig spent time in prison camp. Queen, you spent time in college. Okay? Please. Thank you, beloved. She needs to sit down somewhere. Seriously. And let me tell y'all something. Here's one of the digs that she threw, one of the subliminals she threw at me. I told you one day she even was trying to down people who went to college. She said, and she was talking about me, she said, yeah, some of y'all go to college, spend $100,000 on college and can't even get a job making $30,000. Well, here's the thing, wig. You don't know how much I made at any job I've ever worked. And even if I did make $30,000 or even less, I made it legitimately. I actually worked for whatever I had. I never stole, begged, borrowed, or lied, frauded, ran cons, schemes. I never did any of that. So, Miss Smith, all right? That's all I'm saying. While I was at Penn State, wig was in the state pen. So she needs to sit down somewhere trying to call somebody frauds. Yes, Mr. Hotel said that this chat is undisputed, child. It absolutely is. So with that all being said, let me quit cracking jokes on wig and get on up out of here. I absolutely cannot. Right. LeVar said better to make money honest than scamming. Yes, absolutely. Especially from your own people. Who does that? Where they do that at? And she talking about the real black grassroots, the real B1, and then talk about the fake ones. Who is she calling fake? When she's the one who sat there and defrauded black people. She's not B1, and you're still lying about it. Instead of admitting it and atoning for her sins, she's sitting here still lying. Talking about she was going against these big, high-profile Wall Street people and all this and that. No, she was not. Let me tell y'all something. Here's the thing, and I got the paperwork to prove it. I told you I got plenty of receipts where those other ones came from. Here's the thing. She didn't expose Wall Street, okay? What she did was her mother, Patricia Evans Dillard, filed a suit against one of the banks in New York, the Bank of New York, because she was about to lose that house. It was in foreclosure. And Wig was fighting the foreclosure. That's what she did. She didn't fight them on behalf of other black people. It's not even but 2 black people even in Colorado, right? After what she did, most of them had to go back to where they came from, broke and homeless. Seriously. So a lot of those people had to go back to where they came from, broken, homeless. But at the end of the day, she was fighting the New York bankers and all that for herself, for the house that her mother was living in. It wasn't even her mother's name. Her mother was a guest there. That's how that went. So she's talking about, I was fighting big Wall Street banks. Yeah, you were, to keep your own house. You weren't fighting for other black people at the behest of other black people. Honey, prove I'm lying. Prove I'm lying, wig, but you won't, because you can't, because I'm telling the truth. Let's be with it. Anyway, it's also hilarious, the Queen. Okay? Virgin Mountain Coffee will be available on Starbucks soon. Okay? Please. Ripley's believe it or not, says Jacob Yisrael. Penn State versus the state pen, says BG headquarters. Okay, I am so through. With that all being said, everyone please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Listen, I'm just cracking jokes for real to make y'all laugh, but in all honesty, in all sincerity, what Wig did, I want y'all to pay attention because this is not a joke. What she did was very significant to Colorado. It hurts a lot of people. Now I want y'all to remember there were at least 10 victims. At least 10, according to my calculations and the documentations that I produced. At least 10 victims, 50 witnesses, and at least 6 to 7 co-conspirators. Now, with that all being said, she was not out there being a whole political activist. She was out there fighting for her own properties, which were going into foreclosure, because she obviously took that upfront money that she conned and scammed to get and used it on BS. Probably on her weave or whatever, I don't know, but she didn't pay those mortgages. And that's what led to some of that stuff. Another thing is, let's not forget that her and her cohorts fraudulently signed that $130,000 check that belonged to Archbishop Miss Josetta C. Williams. Let's not forget that. Let's also not forget that even though she did all those things 10 years ago, at the end of the day, she's still selling bull crap. Y'all saw that webinar clip. Do y'all really think she's teaching spiritual knowledge that can change people's lives and give signs and wonders, as she said? Selling all of this fraudulent stuff, the fake ATM cards, talking about incantations, talking about virgin volcanic coffee, talking about keys and all of that. You know where she got that whole key thing from? Now as I'm thinking about it, the keys to the kingdom. The keys to the kingdom. I think that's where she got that from. That's what a pastor was doing years ago. And that's why she's always used to tell her subscribers, make sure you tell your religious friends, because she targets religious people. Pay attention. I have no need to lie, and I don't need to hate on her, because at the end of the day, whatever I do it legitimately. And all these men that cape for her and that are just mad and all that, they just concerned about nipple gates. Okay? That's all it is. That's all it is. All right? So miss me with it, wig. A fake wiggalunchery. Okay, please. Y'all got so many names and catchphrases for wig, it's ridiculous. Anyway, everyone like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at QueenAShakur. You can also follow the QueenAShakur fan page and follow me on Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay, so with that all being said, everyone, the new hashtag is #BuyWig. All right, that's the new hashtag. #BuyWig. All right, everybody who follows the Queen. #BuyWig. Let's make it trend. Since she wants to talk about people are not real black grassroots and not real B1. Well, she's not a real one either, because you still sitting here conning to this day. Here we are 10 years later, and you're still running a con game. Only this time it's just a legal one, sadly. With that all being said, everyone like and share. I love you, right, Black Mr. Hotel. I love you too, Kenyatta. So with that all being said, everyone please like and share. Okay, right. That's it. #BuyWig. Let's get #BuyWig in the chat. All right. Thank y'all, beloveds. All right. With that all being said, everyone enjoy the rest of this lovely day. And until next time, beloveds, I will talk to you all again soon.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black. girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Tamir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man will go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make sense.
We are denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Amadeus.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Amadeus.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some